Passion our purpose, profit our pain. I don't want my name to ever be in vain. A life full of substance is the only thing that will remain the same. Millennial thoughts. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Millennial Thoughts. Episode 3. We are so excited. We will be talking about entrepreneurship and taxes because that season is coming up. But first, I wanted to shout out a Black-owned business called Melanin and Happy. That is where we got our shirts from. It is melanated, educated, and gorgeous because that's what we are as Black women. Okay. And if you would like to be, showing your melanin and be happy, you can go check out these shirts and a lot of other shirts at melaninandhappy.com, and also you can search Melanin and Happy on Instagram. And so I just wanted to shout out for sending us these lovely shirts, and make sure y'all go shop and check it out. Okay, on to the episode. And today we have a lovely serial entrepreneur, India, and we'll be discussing entrepreneurship and taxes because this is the season and the reason. Okay, we're trying to get our money back, and also it's coming out. And don't be like me because I'll be waiting until April 15th. But regardless, we're going to talk about different ways that we can learn to, do our taxes better in a sense of like being an entrepreneur. Now, disclaimer: she is not an accountant
at all.
We are not professional, but we are just sharing our stories. Well, she's sharing her stories as an entrepreneur and talking about, how she does her taxes. So thought it would be cool to come on here and, discuss about that for my millennials out here. And if you're not a millennial, still listening, you might can learn something as well. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome.
Headed to Camille. Handing it over to Camille.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us this evening.
Same here.
Tax time is definitely my favorite season because I always get a refund. So
okay.
Definitely look forward to filing this year, as it is my first year as an entrepreneur filing my taxes. So I am excited to talk with you about just different things that we as entrepreneurs wouldn't know about.
Okay.
So we're going to start with tonight's words of affirmation, which is to be successful, you must have tunnel vision. You have to tune out the distractions and just focus. And that's my word of the year, focus.
Okay, it surely is.
We definitely have to always have that tunnel vision when we have the goal set in our mind, because how else are we going to get there?
Exactly.
Okay.
We don't know. And now we'll have an introduction by India. I'm saying you don't know how you're going to get there, but you don't got no goals. I wasn't trying to be funny. But we'll let India introduce herself, and then we'll get into the questions, And if y'all have questions, y'all can comment them. We own a lot of, platforms, so y'all can check us out on, Facebook. You can check us out on Instagram and YouTube. Okay? So, yes, just want to let y'all know that before we actually get started. So, bear with us, but what am I trying to say? Nonetheless, that's the word. India.
Okay, well, I really don't know which camera to look into. So, hello, everybody. So, a little about me. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur now for about 10 years. So, the businesses have changed over the years, but currently I run a successful Airbnb, a successful boutique, and I'm also a business coach. And I help women get started when it comes to business and getting themselves out there.
Yeah, so I said, what a lovely idea. My sis is the entrepreneur. If you ain't know what entrepreneurship was before it was an entrepreneur. Okay, my sis was an entrepreneur in elementary school. Okay, so I'm just saying, y'all, you got to get to the bag any way you know how. All right? So I just wanted to add that up in there. Yes, amazing. Okay, entrepreneur. But we really just want to, hear your story. And if you want to, we can, go into, what made you want to become an entrepreneur, and then we can go into the taxes, because people love to know who the person is, and then we can, go into the tax questions.
Oh, okay. How did I become an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I've always watched my mom work really hard. So she's always had management positions. She started with Foot Locker, Home Depot, on to Coca-Cola, and I realized how much she worked. That's all she did was work. And because, she was high in the company, it was when they called, she had to be there. If anybody wasn't at work, that meant she was going to work. And so I won't say it affected me, but it's just with me growing up, I was like, that's just not what I want for myself. So yeah.
So then you just like, well, I'm gonna be my own boss.
A little bit.
Period. Okay. Okay, now for the text questions.
Okay, so just to start off, some basic questions like what kind of form do you use to file your business taxes?
So as far as form, I just put it on my regular taxes, which is going to be the 1040.
Okay, 1040.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And then, like, how would somebody go about like getting a business tax ID or EIN if they wanted to file under their business this year?
So that's a really good question. Number one, I want to make sure everybody knows that their tax ID is free. A lot of websites are charging for it, and people don't know that it's free. Okay, so you would just go to irs.gov, and that's how you get your tax ID for your business.
Perfect.
Okay, FREEE. Okay. That's what I like to
Anything
hear.
Let me also mention, like, if you're in the beginning stages, and even if you're not in the beginner stages, you do not have to wait until tax ID is free. You can do it right now, but you don't have to have it per se to file your business income on your taxes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. But it's good to. It's good to do it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So how would, like, when are the business taxes due? Because we know there's tax deadlines, and then people like to, take their time sending their money to the government.
Okay.
So tell us when the taxes are actually due.
Taxes, well, it honestly depends on how you set your business up.
Good
so
to know.
if you're an LLC, your taxes are due when your tax return is due, which is April 15th.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
But it depends on how you set your business up. Because if you're a partnership, it's due a little early, so each partner can file their tax return.
Can you talk a little bit more about that, Art? So the LLC, the partnership, is that?
Those are like different ways. So you can do corporation, you can do a LLC partnership, or just a sole proprietor.
Okay.
I
wanted you to say that one.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, perfect. Did you have questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. So for the beginner people, for the people who just started a business, how would you tell them like a way to keep up with their receipts? Because when it comes to filing tax, you want to keep your receipts. You want to keep everything intact so you can be able to show them what you use for your business. So.
My biggest tip is don't be like me. I went years of, let me save my receipt. Taxes, let me save my receipt. Your receipts are not helpful if all you're doing is just saving them and tucking them. So more importantly, you need to have a way of how you're organizing it, keeping up with what is this receipt for, and having it all in one place. Because it's a lot of different things that happen. For one, you go back, you can't even read the receipt because you done balled it up.
Yes.
It's just tucked somewhere.
It's a year old.
Yeah, so, you got to make sure you have some type of method of bookkeeping. That's more important than just keeping receipts.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you use for bookkeeping?
Yeah.
QuickBooks, of course.
Okay, yes.
Great.
I've been hearing about that. Y'all need to come sponsor
girl. QuickBooks is really, really good and user friendly. I used it for a business in the past, and I will say, I was able to, once you do, even link your bank account, it's like, oh my gosh. It kind of does the work for you. So it's definitely easy for people to keep up with your expenses. And so when you do file your taxes, it kind of already gives you an idea. So yeah, QuickBooks is definitely great for small business owners. I'm in real estate, and I know a lot of realtors use QuickBooks to keep track of their mileage and expenses and stuff because we want to write off everything. Okay. We want to write off everything. The phone, the computer, my car. I use that. The time, yes. How many houses did I go to? All that. So it is super, super, super important to stay organized throughout the year, so that you're not, fumbling trying to get it in at the last minute for taxes. So, let's see here. So, in the event that someone has some issues with the IRS already and they owe some money,
Okay.
what would that person do when they're ready to file their taxes?
still make sure you file your taxes. Even though you
Number
owe,
one.
do not be like, okay, I owe you, let me don't file. Still file.
Yes.
You definitely want to file. Because if you don't, they're just going to keep hitting you with penalties.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you're still going to have to file. So, might as well just still file. Yeah.
Absolutely. And definitely, even to take that a step further, I think it's important to dig into what your situation is and make sure that you understand how it affects your business versus your personal taxes. Because, people don't understand the difference when they're starting out as an entrepreneur. When I started out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this world is crazy. Now it's tax season. That adds another layer of stress because who wants to owe the IRS?
Nobody.
Right. Well, my biggest tip for everybody is, unless you're just out there scamming and you just lying, you done said you done had 100K in deductions, your business ain't even made 100K, then there's a problem. But one thing that I've learned is the way that the government works, long as it's
Like a
legit,
roundabout.
they don't just say, okay, you're going to jail. If you make a mistake, they're going to send out a paper letting you know, hey, we saw it, whatever. Which is, we don't want mistakes when it comes to taxes, but don't be so afraid to file, because if a mistake happens, they're going to reach out to you and you're going to be able to correct it. Then when you scamming, that's when it's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't do no scamming around here. But I mean, either one of y'all can talk about this because you said it. If you know the answer, what is, I guess, the biggest difference filing as a person, like just a regular person, and then like when it comes to entrepreneurship, like what's the biggest difference that I guess someone has to take into account when they are filing taxes that you might not think about when you're doing it yourself, but you're doing it for your business?
I would say the deductions.
Okay.
Because when you're, doing it just, normal job, you're just filing, what you pay, getting your refund back versus business. It's very important to keep up. Well, what did you spend money on? Because everything that your business made isn't profit, So it's a big difference in profit and revenue. And so if your business made 200K, but you spent 100K out in product, you don't have to pay taxes on the full 200K. Just the profit.
Tell them what the difference between profit and revenue is.
Okay,
some people don't know.
So revenue is like everything that your business made, right? And then profit is, okay, deduct what, I spent to run the business and merchandise, and then that's your profit. If that makes sense.
Yes. So that kind of leads me to my next question, because I was saying, like, how do you know what to write off as a business expense? So that's like materials, that's what you buy for it. Like, can you do, I guess, like clothes? Like, what are some things that you can write off? I know we were talking about earlier, like car. Are you talking about gas? You talking about gas, not car.
Well, yeah, no, because some people like that do like the Instacart, for instance. You can write your car off as a deductible because you use that for work.
That's true. I'm about to write my car off. Okay.
You could now.
I do Instacart. Maybe it's only one day a week, but still. Okay. I'm just worrying.
So with the deductions, the first question to any deduction is this necessary for my business?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Do I have to do this for my business? And if the answer is yes, you can deduct it. Yeah. But get with a CPA, okay? I am not a tax professional, okay?
I'm going to get with a CPA, get with an accountant. Okay, we're going to slide it in there.
Okay.
This is experience, okay? Business, okay? We don't, we're just talking about how they. Because I technically don't see myself as an entrepreneur, even though people are always like, you're an entrepreneur. I'm like, okay, well, I don't see myself as an entrepreneur. I see myself as more like a content creator, but that's another story for another day. So,
okay.
Yes.
Well, yes, as a realtor, I am an entrepreneur, and I do have
I'm an entrepreneur.
I am an entrepreneur. I do have a lot of business because this is starting up a business. People think, real estate isn't a business, but it is.
But
and it's your own business. So
I wouldn't say like I don't do, because I actually am. Maybe I need to get quick wins, but I do keep my receipts, and I do because I do want to turn it into like more of a business. So I'm not saying like I don't think of an entrepreneurship like that, but I know it's content creation, but that stuff gets expensive. The blogs, the websites, the content creation, the cameras, the laptops. So it definitely can be an expense, and it can be a business. I'm just like trying to learn more how I can make it into that where it's like, okay, yes, I'm making money from this, and this is what I need to write up and stuff like that. But it's all about, knowing knowledge about it and stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, when I first started, I would have never been like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, because that's not what I thought it was. I was like, oh, I'm just a blogger, But when you think about it now, it's like, okay, when you see all that money coming out your account and what you're spending, you're like, hold up now.
Yeah,
so
true.
just from my experience, what I do know, like, especially like with you having like a job as well, if you have a business, and even if you haven't turned a profit yet, you can still file that business on your taxes, and then that would offset kind of whatever the taxes is from your main job, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense, and I would need
so
to be
you
doing
don't
that.
just file taxes when you're doing good, so to speak. Even if it was a loss or you're just in the beginning stages of startup, you can still file that on your taxes.
Oh, okay, that's a good thing to know, because I need mine back tenfold. They trying to come. They be trying to come for the single no kids. Y'all need to come for the other people.
Yes,
so I'm about to be deducting everything.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Single with no, because I'm trying to live my life. I ain't trying to get no money taken away from me.
Oh,
Shoot.
yeah, we get taxed.
Okay.
All the way.
That's so disrespectful, because I didn't want no kids, because I'm not married. Y'all trying to tax me?
So, question: does that matter? Does your status matter when you're filing business taxes? Like if you're filing with a partner, like in an LLC, like your husband? Like, does that? Let me rephrase the question. Does it matter how you file when you're filing a business tax?
Oh, like if you're single or you're married?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, when you file your taxes, it's together, if that makes sense. So when my husband files his taxes, he's listing out what jobs did he have or what his business did or businesses did, and I'm doing the same thing. So we're just turning our forms in together, if that makes sense. So if you have your business or if you're a partner in a business, you're going to write that under your name. You get what I'm saying? So you're still separate. You're just filing it together.
So you're filing it together because like y'all are married, but you're not really like filing the businesses together.
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So you're like,
what do you mean?
Like you're filing together. It's like you and your husband are filing together because y'all married, but like y'all businesses are separate. So you're just filing.
Right. Like if we don't share the same business, he's just gonna file his business under his name.
But y'all like together because y'all married. Like
right.
Okay. But does that matter? Because you're married.
Not really. Not really.
Okay.
The best example I could imagine is having your own paper with your name, what you made, what you're doing. He got his own paper, and we're just like stapling the paper together and filing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect answer. Okay, because if I need to hurry up and get married, then
Because if the deductions is looking right, okay,
that part. I'm just trying to see if I need to,
check everybody around.
You know what? Actually, there are some benefits of filing married. Now, what they are, I don't know because I'm not a licensed CPA. Okay, but there are some benefits of filing married. I just kind of thought about it. Yeah. So this is probably like our second year filing married, which is why,
you're still figuring it out.
Okay. Come back in a couple of years. Let us know.
Yes.
Well, hopefully we already married and we can tell you about the deductions. But if I'm not married, okay, come back. I'm just playing.
Okay. What other questions do you have?
My question is, okay, what do you think is the biggest mistake you may have made, like, overall? Because I know you've been an entrepreneur for a long time, that overall filing taxes are that you think that you wish you would have known earlier, before you started filing taxes as an entrepreneur?
Mistakes and things I wish I would have known earlier.
Yeah, either one you want.
Number one is keeping my receipts together and bookkeeping. Like, it doesn't matter if you just have all your receipts and you don't do nothing with it. Bookkeeping. I wish I would have learned about bookkeeping earlier, and that I actually used it earlier. That would be number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then...
And also, like, I felt the same way when I first started. Like, oh my gosh, taxes. Like, ugh. You just kind of run away from it, like taxes.
Yes.
So I just wish I knew, long as I'm not just putting crazy numbers on the paper, they're going to let me correct it if it's, a problem. Okay. So don't run away from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whew, I need to do it the right way. You said do it the right way.
Okay, do it the right way. Don't do it the wrong way, but if you do, you can always make it up.
Yep.
So is there anything that you feel like we didn't go over that you would want to tell the people, that are listening? or you feel like you got it all out?
Well, you never have it all out when it comes to taxes.
Okay.
Who wants to talk about taxes?
Right.
What's the question?
Anything.
Is
that
there
we don't
anything
know?
that you, that we didn't
you would
ask
like
you
to
that
share?
you would like to share?
With taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Pay your taxes.
Okay.
If you owe taxes at the end, you can set up a payment plan.
Okay.
As well as if you're an entrepreneur and you know you're going to owe taxes, begin to make quarterly payments so that it doesn't hit you so hard at the end of the year. As well as we have federal tax and then state tax. So if you're selling to somebody within the same state, you should be charging sales tax. And you want to just have a little savings account to put that money in again, so that bill doesn't just hit you like, woo, I owe all this money. That way you kind of,
Okay, be going in a sunken place. Like, oh, hold up. Because I sure would be, baby, okay?
As well as the S Corp. The S Corp is really beneficial if you just filed as an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of perks with that. So making sure that you take the extra step to file S Corp for tax reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
Understood.
Yes. Well, we like to thank you so much for joining us to talk about filing taxes as an entrepreneur. We're going to let you plug yourself and tell them where they can follow you at, how they can find you, and how they can work with you.
Okay, yes. So again, my name is India Woodbury Adunton, and you guys can find me at Living Well with E on Instagram, and at House of Allure on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yes.
And what do you do again?
Okay, so House of Allure is my boutique. All right. I also help women entrepreneurs over at Living Well with E. And that's that.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, follow her. She loves Instagram stories. So if y'all like watching Instagram stories, check her out. Okay. Very inspirational. All right. Yes. Thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to leave y'all with some words of wisdom. But before, make sure y'all are following us on our social medias, because we do go live if you listen to this on the podcast. So y'all can see us face to face. I'm trying to give y'all some visuals in 2022. Okay. So we try to do the Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube. It's honestly a lot. But, just go ahead and just subscribe and, check us out and watch us. Okay. But within that, we are talking about taxes and being an entrepreneur. Here is a quote from Nelson Mandela. Okay, it says, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Okay, so don't lose out here. You're learning. You becoming an entrepreneur, and you filing your taxes on time. Yeah. So yes.
And if for some reason you can't, make sure you file an extension.
Period. Now that wasn't Nelson. That was India. Her words of wisdom. Okay, so make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Millennial Thoughts Pod, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, follow us, and we'll see y'all next week, or y'all will hear us next week. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel. I see y'all out there, and I see y'all on Facebook. So thanks for joining, and I'm glad that it worked out this week, and we have better sound, okay? Ooh. So see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hey millennials, do you want to be financially free? Do you want a second stream of income or extra money to pay off your debt? Well, Millennial Thoughts has created a 6-week side hustler program just for you. We will be building your side hustle in 6 weeks with 3 easy steps. Are you ready to start making money now and be a part of the side hustler community? Email me at millennialthoughtspod@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram saying I want to sign up for the Side Hustler program.